morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, creepy friends. Welcome to Nixie Bobs, and it's the week of Christmas. Are you excited? Are ya? Let's just embrace it. So we're back for the almost last episode of Thunderbirds this year, which was High Strung. I just watched it this morning after spending the whole night, not the whole night, after being up till 4 AM with Roadblock. Let's not discuss Sasha and Charlotte again, okay? Let's just... Nah. I'm getting annoyed with the flip-flopping, okay? If you watch wrestling, yeah, I love the match. We had a lovely nosebleed, poor Sasha, but yeah, so I'm a little tired. I'm not coldy anymore, but I did see my best friend on Friday and she had a bad throat, so of course now I'm feeling it. It's fine. Also, I'm having a particularly not good skin day, week actually. My skin is atrocious. Not that you guys can see, I've kind of like done quite well with the covering up of the evil. It's actually eased out today, but I will say again, the one thing that I use when my skin is really bad, pseudo-creme, works every time. So Saturday's episode, repeating again, was called High Strung. And guess who's back? Francois Lemaire. Hi Jack Whitehall. They like using you, don't they? So there's a weather balloon of his that's flown into dangerous territories in, I think, was it South Africa? Just correct me if I was wrong. It was very early this morning, okay? I'm underslept, do forgive me. So guess who we think, so of course, you guys have guessed it, it's Francois Lemaire. So we're assuming, Francois Lemaire needs rescuing again. He's causing us more trouble. Again. That guy. Again. Really? Scott pursues because obviously his craft is the fastest out of everyone, which eventually leads into very, very dangerous stuff. There's turbulence due to the wind and the snow. So Scott actually gets out of Thunderbird 1 and like, squirrel monkeys, what is this called? There's the name for this and I want to say paragliding, but it's not. That's something completely different. He just gets out and goes boom in this suit and just flies. Free flies. They did it in Tomb Raider too, actually, until he gets to the weather balloon. Kind of nearly kills himself quite a lot. Quite daredevilish move for Scott Tracy, actually. But we've come to know him to be like this in this series. KO has been researching, and we'll get on to that little moment when we talk about some random stuff, and you know what I'm talking about. And she eventually takes off in Thunderbird's shadow and goes to find Lemaire's yacht, which actually ends up being, with him on board, very injured in like a mummified suit with Madeline next to him. So we're concerned it's a trap. Who's trapping him? Is it the mechanic? We haven't seen him in a while, have we? No. Maybe he's gone home for Christmas. Or not. Turns out that there's a teenager hired by Francois Lemaire that's kind of, I think, joyriding it, really. And he's taking it, and he doesn't really realise how much danger he's in. He was ignoring all the calls that they were giving. Some stupid little teddy flew up in front of it. But it ends up incredibly dangerous. The balloon can't really take the pressure, and he and Scott end up abandoned on a mountaintop. So now a member of International Rescue needs rescuing. Oh, the terrible irony of that. So out goes Virgil with a new thing from Brains called Rad. We had this thing at the start of Brains going RAD, trying to make his own catchphrase. Just, no, Brains, it doesn't work. Just, no, okay? Just quit while you're ahead, love. And RAD is a new design from Brains, so Virgil takes it with him. In the process of Virgil getting there, unfortunately, though, the craft, the weather balloon, becomes too dangerous, so Brandon, who's the little teenage guy, and Scott have to jump off it, and they're kind of free grappling onto this mountain, just like hanging in like mid-air. Could you imagine if they bloody well fell? That would, like, you just wouldn't even see the world again. Yeah, let's bring hope and light this Christmas series by talking about the ways you can possibly die in a Thunderbirds episode. Well done, Nixie. Virgil lowers down the RAD, but unfortunately drops it and ends up on the next mountain with no other way of getting it across without Thunderbird 2 causing a lot of wind and possibly like blowing Brandon and Scott off the mountain. They have to just go and jump in it together. It's at this point that Brandon starts getting a little bit hazy and a little bit kind of tired. I don't think he's tired. I think possibly it's altitude. I mean, I know what altitude sickness is like. Trust me, I know. So it's possibly a little bit of that motion sickness that happens in Rad, actually. And he starts to get quite lightheaded, so Scott has to like go boom with his line thing and boost them over. It was a little moment where Scott's kind of taking care of Brandon, and it's little things that I notice, like he attaches him, and Bear Grylls does this as well, which shows too much outdoors TV that I watch, and he like attached himself to Brandon, because at one point Brandon nearly falls and he grabs him, so he makes sure he's hooked to little different caring things like that that are just kind of really sweet. I guess it's typical rescue stuff though, right? So they jump over and end up at Rad, and what Rad is basically, it looks like a giant snowball that has the ability to squeeze itself down. Unfortunately, and it has the ability to go across rocky terrains where other crafts wouldn't, a little bit more safely. There's only one seat, so it's a bit of a squeeze in there, as I imagine Thunderbird 4 can be at times. And they proceed to roll down all these hills, leaving the box for Rad behind, might I add. And they had like a bumpy ride. They initially don't realise that they can stop themselves spinning round. That would have made anyone quite sick and quite dizzy. And they roll down the hill. They can squeeze themselves to make themselves smaller to go down narrow gaps. But when it comes down to landing, where we've now got Thunderbird Shadow has caught up, and we've got Virgil and we've got KO waiting at this base. We don't quite know where the base is. I guess it's something that Brandon came from. There's no way of stopping it, so Scott has Brandon control the craft, and he gets out and Squirrel Monkey's into safety. He's like, ah! That's quite a cool little thing, actually. I quite like that. It was very Scott Tracy just living dangerously in this episode to the ultimate extreme, I think. So everyone ended up safe. Brandon was a little bit sick at the end, needless to say the least. Nobody died. We prevented needing a rescue. Again, I have to notice that again from what I said last week. It does seem like we're more at the minute preventing needed rescues and rescuing people in the process, as opposed to getting that traditional calling international rescue type thing. I said this before, I think I need that calling international rescue type thing, just because it's traditional. I quite enjoyed the episode, although we've had quite a lot of recently space missions and stuff like that. It's refreshing to see Thunderbirds 1 and 2 in action again, especially together. I don't remember the last time we had Scott and Virgil together in one single episode of TVAG, so it's nice to see them both back out. Scott especially hasn't done very much in recent weeks, so I've really enjoyed seeing him in this episode and being in the forefront of it and doing so much. Now that line that goes down from TB5 to Earth at the start of the episode, how long do you reckon that actually is, that line? It's got to be like thousands and thousands of meters. I think it's a great idea in theory, but like, how long is that line? How long is it? I would love to know. I would love to know the thought process that went into making that line, because I really liked that last time when John popped down. And also we have another little isolation moment from John where he's like, I don't miss much about Earth but cheeseburgers. What little thing about the cheeseburger here? How did they get that to Tracy Island when it was clearly a fast food packet? And was it not freezing cold by the time it got to the poor guy anyway? Because bearing in mind, someone's had to ferry it over from the mainland and then someone's had to send it up. So it must be like putridly cold. Maybe he's got some sort of space device up there that can heat it back up to McDonald's standard. I don't know, I'm just theorising here, you know. Brains, I'm going to repeat it again to you, love. R-A-D. Just no. Don't try it. No. KO and the computer. Let's talk about KO and the computer. Who saw it? It was hard not to miss. She went through all these things, and what were they? They were clips of episodes from the original Thunderbirds. Puppet little motions. I think that's one of the first bits we've seen since one of the very first episodes where John watches Stingray. I kind of squealed this morning watching that. Thank God no one was in the house. So I was trying to like see which ones were on there, and I think I've just about got the majority of them. Terror in New York City was one. I forget its name, but the second one was where someone visits Tracy Island. The KO has to take him down to try and find this fish while they go and do a rescue. It's a fake fish. But I remember that one. I just can't remember its name. I want to say it's Tintin's friend, but it's not. It was, what's his name? Jeff's friend. Sorry, I'm forgetting Jeff Tracy's name. That's just bloody bad. Was Moving Your Dead one? I'm sure I saw Alan's little red race car from Moving Your Dead going into like the car park. Was that his car or was that another car? I'm sure it was that one. The next one and the final one was actually shot of Lady Penelope, I'm sure driving Fab 1, and I know that happened in an original episode. I just, again, I can't remember which one it was. My brain was rushing with seeing that because I got so overexcited. Brilliant little Easter egg for everyone there, guys. Brilliant one. Thank you TVAG for putting that in. That was great for us lot out here. Lot of really good comical, dry-natured moments there that again are for us. Scott going, define stupid when he's about to jump out of Thunderbird 1 and Squirrel Monkey himself. Is it a Squirrel Monkey? I'm just gonna look stupid if it's not. It's not a Squirrel Monkey. Flying Squirrel. Oh, they're just called Flying Squirrels. Okay, well, Scott was a Flying Squirrel. That was what I meant. Okay, I kind of had an idea. It was very early this morning. Please forgive me for my stupidity. And there's a lot of like eye rolling with Brandon. A lot of I just can't deal with teenagers. He does have to deal with Alan though. Maybe Alan and Brandon would get on. Now, Scott Tracy, are you sure you're in the right business of rescuing people? Because you had a really, really short patience level all episode, especially where Brandon is concerned. You just had no patience for the poor guy at all. He's just there being your typical annoying blooming teenager, and you're just like, oh, help me get out of here. And then at the end we have Virgil turn to Kay and say, maybe we should invite him back home. That would annoy Scott. Exactly. Good little bit of banter between brothers there. I'm sure Scott Tracy should be in a business that doesn't involve rescue if he can't handle teenagers. Maybe he just wanted a break from Alan that day. With Brandon being a vlogger, no irony intended there with what I'm doing, and recording Scott and Scott being submissive to it, I guess it shows that they're not putting in this series emphasis on the fact that you're not supposed to record the Thunderbird crafts or record the people in the rescues. I guess really, and I know I've touched on this before, but it was kind of highlighted in this episode, there would be in the modern day world no real way of hiding stuff like this. You can't even get a superstar hidden in the building in WWE without someone on the internet seeing. So it wouldn't be possible. So I think they're just kind of going, you know what? It's not possible. We're not going to try and do that. However, in saying that, I would love to see them try and retain that secrecy, purely because it is a moment from the original, and I guess it's just in my little head there. But the reality of it is, as I've said before, you just couldn't do it. There was some lovely set work with Rad in this episode, rolling down the mountains and the snow-capped mountains and the way that it penetrated through the snow. It looked really, really good. I really enjoyed watching Rad on the sets, and I also enjoyed as well, silly thing, when the episode opened and just shot a shot of Tracy Island and the water rippling, and you could tell it was a real set. I loved seeing that as well. Silly little quirk there. Now, apparently Thunderbirds goes on Christmas Eve. You guys know already that I'm not going to be able to get that out probably until the middle of after Christmas weeks. Sorry. Really sorry. It's just going to be too much going on. I don't know when it's on. I've looked through the TV guide. It's not on CITV. I can't see it on ITV because Philosopher's Stone is on Christmas Eve. So unless it's on like really early in the morning, do leave me a message and tell me if you know, because I don't know. You're going to have to clarify it for me. Either way, we're not going to be able to get that out. However, in advance and as a substitute, we are having Give or Take $1 Million instead, which I've got to record this week. So that being the Christmas episode of Thunderbirds from the original. So that will be going out on Christmas Eve, and as I said, Christmas Day we'll have a makeup video, but Christmas Eve is for you guys. I've got to get that out, record it, and it will be done. I'm not going to let anybody down. I'm already logistically thinking of how I'm going to work this week, because it's just insanity going on all week. Not insanity in the WWE, just insanity in my life and things going on. It's all busy. It's Christmas week. Why wouldn't it be? Thank you everyone for being here and watching High Strung with me. Have a lovely Christmas day, and do keep an eye out for Give or Take $1 Million. That will be out on Christmas Eve at some point. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, please do. If you'd like to follow Twitter, please do. Everything's down here in the comments. I'm sorry I got Flying Squirrel wrong. I'm just being a twit today. Do leave any comments, anything I've missed. How much did you enjoy the little Easter egg with KO and the computer? Because I certainly did. I will see everyone again for another Thunderbirds video Christmas Eve. I'll see you all on Christmas Eve. If not, I'll see you for the next TBAG, the next makeup video, or just whatever the hell else is going on. Bye everyone.